not married and they're doing this incredible.
Well, there's a mirage of things. I think first of all, we have to go back to writer. You are very well known for your teaching skills. Your students speak a whole lot about you.
Miss Nigeria competition.
And I said, let's pick them up. Let's take them back to Nigeria and let's teach them a different kind of job.
I often listen to the song Strength of a Woman by Shaggy. That song lyrics simply tells me all there is to know about women like me. And what's really I enjoy a whole lot around it is when he says that he wonders loudly if God is a woman. And that's because the songwriter, the artist has taken time to observe women and the diverse nature of women, our staying power, our stoic power, the strength of a woman. And he simply ascribes it as that of the gods. Yes. And women have taken the strength to diverse fields, working hard and excelling in diverse works of life, including the military. My guest today is such a personality. She epitomizes what there is to be said positively about women. I will be introducing her, but that will be after this time out. Don't go away.
Job.
It's still the woman, and my name is Elizabeth Abai, reaching you from the largest television network, the NTA. Now, I did mention that my guest is one personality you'd want to meet because she's got it all in one package. The staying power, her stoic nature, the strength, the positive energy, her ability to lead other women along. My guest is none other than Lieutenant Colonel Susan Johnson Dibal. Of course, she's retired. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much.
I look at you and tell myself this is Coke and Fanta.
Oh yes, my dear.
And in a lot of ways, our strengths still differ. I keep wondering, military women, well, I'm not sure I can do it. And it leaves me wondering, are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure again?
Of course you can.
Okay, maybe if we start from the genesis, it will enlighten me on my strength better. How did you get involved with military? How did you go in there?
Oh. Thank you so much for this opportunity for me to speak on what I love so much, how a woman can change her status from whatever level you want to the level that your heart takes you to. Actually, I joined the army as a soldier immediately after my secondary school. And then I just feel I should join the army because my mother didn't have a male child.
So your mother never had a male child?
How many girls? We're 3. And my mother's best friend has a son in the army. And I told my mother, let me go to Maiduguri from Biu, which is my local government. Let me go to Maiduguri because they said on the telly yesterday that they are recruiting. And when I got there, they finished recruitment. But the 2 ladies that were admitted, their height wasn't up to what they wanted. And there were nobody to replace them. Then I appeared. I watched yesterday on NTA that the 2 ladies that were taking their height, I'm here, is my height okay? And that was it. That was it. I didn't do the rigorous one for me to be there, but it came in a very simple way because my heart wants me to be there. And that was how we got to Zaria, 6-month training with the men, 1986 January, 6 precisely. And I was in the army.
I often hear that there are no female ladies or girls in the army. Rather, there are soldiers who happen to be female. And I keep wondering, how does that play out? Because as a woman in the army, there is no gender disparity. Are you giving special treatment?
No special treatment.
Oh, wow.
As you enter into the depot NA, whatever a man passed through, it's the same thing as a woman.
Oh.
But normally, if your energy it's not up to the men. They too, the trainees, understand. You follow and get it right. But there is no differences in training, either from depot or from NDA, where there are women now. It is the same training.
There are no, exceptional treatment for the women as they put it, the weaker sex. But somehow we have natural causes for us to be, laid back a little bit at certain times of a month, like when we are flagging red. How do you manage it?
You don't need to tell anyone that you are flagging red. But every human being that is a trainee, the men that train, understand when a woman is weak. All they do is that, leave her. Maybe there is something that we don't know. And actually, they do understand that. But you don't need to say it. It is your action, your behavior, your way of expressing the next training. The man will understand that this woman, because he has a wife, he has a daughter, he will understand that maybe this woman has something that we don't know. Then they soften everything for you.
Right. I know that you had special operations, especially in Maiduguri, that were quite daring for you as a woman. You want to share that with us?
Before then, as a soldier, I started mentoring women, not today, since 1990. As a firer, shooting competition. At that time.
You say fire, my heart gets...
No. It's just like being an athlete in another area of volleyball, basketball, but in the army, there is something that kept me where I am up till today, being a firer, shooting competition. I didn't go there to shoot. They say women should come and pick empty case. That is, after shooting, you pick the empty case and put. But I asked the question, can't I fire as far back as 1990? November, December, precisely, the competition. Then the senior officer said, allow her. And I did. And I became the best shot. And I was given a rank, last corporal, before my time. And I make sure that I understand that a woman can be good if you allow her to play the role. And that is the moment I start keying in women to understand that don't be behind. Don't be an empty case picker, but show up your talent. That was the beginning of when I understand that carrying other women along makes me great. Sure. Thanks for this opportunity for me to explain that. Coming to your question, Maiduguri. Maiduguri was very hot, 215. It's a place where when you tell anyone you are carrying your bag to Maiduguri, everybody looked at you. You don't have family, you don't have children, you want to go and kill yourself. But no. I just came back from a course in the UK. 15th, I can never forget that moment. 15th March, and I reported to the headquarters on the 20th, and my co-commander said, Dibal, you just read mental health. There are so many work for you in Maiduguri. I said, with all pleasure, sir, because that is where I came from. Yes, that's my state. If I can contribute my quota through the job I have joined, it's a thing of the past today. I was there 4 years, and I'm here today talking to you. So many that died, not that I'm better than them. It is because the work sick for them. So I see it as an opportunity that I went, and I didn't just stay in an office. I go around to see that the well-being of a soldier matters a lot to me as a mentally ill person. The brain must be there. The body, soul, and mind must work together. And what was the key word I tell soldiers is that don't borrow confidence.
What does that even mean? What do you mean when you say don't borrow confidence?
That is it. If today they say that Usema Kate, some hoodlums have taken over and I'm part of it, and I tend to take one bottle of beer or one thing to make me or smoke, I borrow the confidence from that. Okay. I always tell them, the blade flies, but don't borrow any confidence. Do it with your clear eyes, and you get it right. And to my observation, so many of them key into it. But yet, we could see people who still want to do that. But we still try to borrow confidence from something to make you do something. It was not easy, but I bet you Nigeria has the best men who forget about their own family.
I guess the men you're talking about is generic. You're not just saying men for men.
They are women.
Okay.
Because in the army, we don't have to say woman, man. No.
Definitely.
It is the combination of the two that makes the man. The women, let me put it for the people that may not understand, the women and the men of the Nigerian armed forces per se. Because Maiduguri was not just for the military. The Air Force, the Navy were all there. The women fly the jet, they were doing it well. And when we come to the Navy, the deployment in Baga, they may not be at the front line, but they are there to give you the support you need, which is, when we talk about catering, you can't fight a war without eating. The women were there. And when you talk about medical, there are medical women who stood on ground, even when they said women should leave. At one point, you know, if there's anything that weakens a man, is to see a woman lying dead in the front line. It weakens them because they see you as their mothers, as their sisters, as their own children. So the army looked at it at that point at 2:15, that the war was turning somehow, that women should pull out. Till 2:18 that I left, there were women in the theater. Women who believe that my being there, it is because I've joined the army.
Little wonder you have so many awards, lined up here. What does this one mean? How did you get so many?
This is the story. This is 1990, where I became the best shot. And a female who fire alongside with the men. I keep it too dear to my heart because I could remember what really transpired. Best shot. I was just 4 years in the army. When I was in Maiduguri, there are two things that happened that I always talk about. There's this BMAT from UK that comes to help the medical team. They too play the role to train you. They are not in the front line, but they are in the headquarters to train. I have an office which is called Counseling Cell. In the BMAT, there's a medical person that, one of them, James, he said, what you're doing, I can't do it because the number of people you attend to, I can't do it. And when they were going, he decided to say, this is a 16 medical regiment, appreciating what I was doing in Maiduguri. And I was so happy because I could see it. The pictures, the videos I have with him speaks that he really, really appreciates. Then again, during the war, the army felt that there should be a competition, which is this shooting that I love so much. And the competition was inside Zambisa Forest.
Wow.
I stayed there and trained my men and women who were training for 3 months before the time. My dear, it wasn't easy because after 2 months of training, one night when we came in the morning, the men who give us, we are at the camp, the men who takes maybe 20, 25 meters away to give us security. That day I lost. We arrived and we lost some because these bad boys had put IED, which they never knew, and their vehicle exploded. And I felt it that day because these are the men who gives me the strength that I can stay in the range too. But after the competition, the army gave me an award, the Chief of Army Staff Award. This award, every day of my life, I give it to those boys because I could speak with one before he passed on. And he said, Madam, in Hausa, that I just got married. There's something in my front pocket. Remove it. I remove it, and it is the bulge of his ATM. That know how this should get to my wife. I just married her. I dedicate this to those group of men any day, anytime.
Sure. It's really sad.
It is, but it's, you see, dying in the war, we sign it the very day we join the job. Yes. You take an oath to defend your country.
That's a hard one. And I was just going to ask, you're married with with children, so how did you sign that?
By then, I was young. But let me tell you, at that moment that you were signing that, taking an oath, is the joyous moment in a soldier's life. So many may not have known the rudiments, the dangers within. But for people like me who really, really love the job, do you know the prayer I did that day after taking my oath? I said, God Almighty, see me through, because I've already taken the oath to protect. Come sunshine and rain. And that is what soldiers are meant for.
I wish I had your kind of mindset, because I see the joy you have. But it's also very scary, which leaves me to wonder, did you at any point think of running away? Did you at any point think of running back? Was there a moment, when things happened to you and you said, no, I can't do this anymore, especially when you became wife and mother?
Actually, when I was a soldier in the training in depot, that came into mind. But then in the northern part, we were picked 111 from the state, Gongola there in Borno, Bauchi, we were 1-1. But when we click together, anytime it is hard, we sit and say, we are from the north. We must be, because I was the first at that time. When I became an officer, along the line, there is something that happens to every soldier. If you excel, you either go in for DSSC, Director Service. But for me, I looked for that particular aspect of commissioning I never got. But the one that came gives me the joy that I still smile up to today. There is a commissioning in the army. They call it executive commission. Executive commission in the sense that you've already served up to 15, 12 years in the army. And you're already a graduate. I was a graduate. I had my master's at then. The army brought it up, and so many people say, no, you can't go for that commissioning. You are already a graduate. It's meant, I say, listen, at this time of my job, why not cross over to be an officer than waiting for what may not come? And I was commissioned after again being the best shot 2000 in Port Harcourt competition.
Actually, you can't miss a bird flying when you shoot.
I will take it off and keep it where it's supposed to be. So when I became bus shot, the commissioning of executive came, and that avenue where I fired so well made me to have people who love what I do, and decided, and I went for in fact, after the commissioning, I was sent to Liberia, to Sierra Leone, to join my unit, because they were already there giving peacekeeping. I give credit to someone that has been like a mentor, to someone who understands the good side of somebody who give out its best. My present Chief of Army Staff was the MS then. Sir, wherever you are, if you are watching, I want to say thank you. It was during his time, they said, I can excel to be a lieutenant colonel, which ordinarily I'm not supposed to. But because people saw what I was doing in Maiduguri, people saw the inside of my relationship with soldiers, the range competition, so many things. It was immediately after that I got the elevation. Then it was retired our former chief of army staff, which is Lieutenant General Tukuri Supratai. I give him also the credit for understanding that people can be what they want to be.
Exactly.
Because it is through him. And after that range, I formed something they call, the army agreed for us to have a battalion. Only women.
Women battalion. And you were in charge.
420 we started. That was how the battalion started in February 19, 2018.
You were the first to
Yes.
be charge of it.
I became, they didn't call me the CEO. You know what it is when a woman wants to change things. They said she is the coordinator of the women. But people who know what it is still call me the CEO. At the end of the day, when they see what these women are capable of, the CEO thing came up. People start calling CEO. But again, this is one area that I want to say thank you to you. Because when you understand the interest of a woman is, let me do my best. Only few women forget to know that doing your best makes you great. This same woman, we created cells. See, we don't want men to drive us. Took 20, they learned how to drive, they started driving us. You know plumbing? Men must enter into your bedroom. I said, no, we have somewhere in Makodi, where is a school. Few women went, they learned tiling, plumbing, painting, carpentry work. Because as women, we need to do things ourselves.
So nice. And playing all roles, I want to take you back home and find out, you know, they say women, there are no girls and ladies in the army. It's all soldiers. And I'm wondering, at home, with all the training you got, are you still able to be the lovely wife and mother? Or are you still doing shooting range? Of
course. No. At home, the shooting range is how to make the home understand that I'm in the army. Okay. I tell every woman who joins the armed forces, a soldier or an officer, and you want your home to be as sweet as the food you cook, drop your uniform at the door when you are home. And when you see your family, keep the uniform behind you. You are wearing it, but keep it behind you and embrace them as a mother, as a sister, as a wife. When you do that, in every profession, not just in the armed forces. If you understand the value of home, the job will love you.
How do you relax?
Wow. In the army, there are so many ways you can relax. Even in the north, is even with the Boko Haram thing, soldiers need to relax. There are so many ways soldiers, for me, my relaxing mood is picking a book to read. To factor.
You've been able to write so much.
Yes.
You have a lot of publications.
Yes.
You know,
I have a lot, and not too long, my book is coming out. The book is just about women who have served and have retired with those that are still serving, to understand that there is a value after the job.
All right, so now you're retired. Do you miss, for instance, your shooting range? Do you miss firing? Do you miss being very active?
Thank you for that question. There's one thing with Susan. I'm always active. You know, even when I'm walking, you will know that there's still a soldier in me. But the only thing is, I put back behind me is that change. I must change. I'm no more in the army. So I must imbibe the community I belong to, where I am with them. I must understand that these are not military community. I must add to that change in my life. And that has helped me. And again, the army did not just leave me. I got employed as a coordinator to the women when I retired. All along, I'm a medical person. I went back to my social work. But today, I work with the Veterans Affairs. That's Defense Health Maintenance, where they said no veteran should pay for hospital bill on primary health care. And I'm really doing that. I'm really going around the country to tell every retiree that the government has a place for you. Don't just think because you have retired, they've forgotten you. No.
Do you still do morning regimes that you do in military? All those attention, stand up, sit down?
I may not have been doing it the way the army is, but let me tell you, no soldier, retired or serving, that at one point that thing does not trigger. It triggers you and you say, you start stretching, and then you now realize, oh, I've retired. Let me do it in a simple way. It is normal.
All right, thank you very much. I want to believe that one day when I retire, I'll be on my bed. One day I wake up and say, this is the Nigerian Television Authority, and then I start presenting program right on my bed because that's what I'm used to doing.
See, when you retire, you will see another side of NTA that you loved so much. And your contribution for today talking to me can never go without you remembering that you spoke to one woman who talks about fire and fighting. What else? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I will be speaking with a lovely personality here. She's taking my emotions up and down with all her stories, experiences as a soldier, as a military person, and as a lieutenant colonel in the army. It's important that we learn from what she has said. I will learn, if nothing else, how to drop my coat, right there by the door and walk in and be the wife and mother I am supposed to be at home, and of course contribute to my community. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.